Hey everybody, it's Tom at Talent Guitar Works. And tonight's video is on how Chicken Little's wrong, the sky is not falling, and in the guitar world, the tariffs are not going to come and crush our heads. It's not happening. And I'm going to present facts that explain that. Now, I'm on social media and I belong to some groups that help people complete guitar kits that they're building or guitar wiring schematics where they're having problems. And I'm even on a pedal board page. Now, the pedal board page came up this past week because someone posted the article by one of the guitar rags that had the CEO from Earthquaker Devices on. And he's quoted in the article as saying, the tariffs could bankrupt Earthquaker. And I kind of put the laughy face on that because I was like, yeah, I don't see how. And immediately the keyboard warriors started up, which is fine. It's a free country. You can say whatever you want. I'm going to return fire, though. Just remember that. So the first thing they told me was, well, there's going to be supply chain issues. And I said, well, anybody who's in business since 2021 and remembers the first supply chain failure has the acumen to store enough parts and products to sustain their business for a full year. Okay, part two, the supply chain can't fall down if the products are bought in the United States. Well, there are no manufacturers in the United States for any electronic parts or components. So I sent them the RF directory, which lists all the businesses and manufacturers in the United States stocking those parts and components. They didn't want to believe that. So then I sent the actual breakdown of who is the largest producer and exporter of electrical components and parts in the world. Number one for both production and export is China. Number two is Germany. Number three, the good old USA. Number four, Hong Kong. I think it bops into Europe to over in Russia and it kind of shifts out between who produces and exports more. And then it goes to Asia. So we're ahead of most Asian countries. So are we going to see tariffs on that? Now, a lot of people will bring up, well, what about the computer chips? Well, under the Biden administration, Nancy Pelosi, whether to enrich herself or the United States, got a deal with Taiwan to provide all our chips. Plus, we have Silicon Valley, which I believe is still making chips. Anyway, not a problem there. So these were the things I was wondering. And people were saying, well, all the small businesses are going to go under. Small business, not even thinking about going under. In fact, going the other way. This board behind me got expanded by 100%. 3 more cabinets of parts to complement the 3 parts cabinets I already had. Why? Because my suppliers and the jobbers and the distributors and the manufacturers are giving us great discounts on parts right now. One of the distributors has given me 50% off twice in 2 months. I used to order once a quarter from these distributors, maybe biannually. The prices are so good now, and they're the best I've seen in 8 years, and the discounts are so good that I'm expanding. I'm keeping more and more parts on hand. Now somebody said, well, that's well and good. You have a wholesale account because you have a business. So I forgot to include some of my personal project stuff in the wholesale account. And I needed these parts in a hurry, so I went on Amazon. So let's go see how much it could possibly be more on Amazon. So the first item were these caps. And I purchased these caps. I needed 2. I wound up getting like 24, I think. And they were like 17 cents more each from Amazon than they were from my supplier. Then I got these .047 caps. I needed 1, I got a dozen. I don't care. And I paid about 12 cents more per cap than from my supplier. And then I got these, and these are voltage regulators. And I was using a 3-leg voltage regulator on one of my projects, and I broke the leg off accidentally, and I needed a replacement. These were 60 cents a piece for 12 of them. No big deal. They arrived the next day on my doorstep. It was not a problem at all. So the prices are out there. Now, it is Memorial Day weekend, and while it's nice to take time and remember why we have this weekend, I encourage you to also go on your phone or your devices and look up what sales are going on right now. Because I've found sales anywhere from 5 to 25% this weekend. And the 25% sale was a retail sale from one of the biggest distributors in the United States. If tariffs were looming on the horizon, I don't think we'd see these sales. We see these sales for several reasons. And the first reason is the manufacturers and the jobbers have built up a surplus because of the previous supply chain stall. Now that surplus has exceeded the space they allotted for it. And there's some sayings in business. One is time is money. The other is space is money. And the longer you keep a product ready to sell on the shelf, you're paying storage space for that product. Simple as that. So they're trying to blow all these products out. Now, if they really believed tariffs were going to come and increase all the prices, they would just hang on to most of these products and not try and blow them out and sell them at an elevated cost later on. I don't believe that's the case. I think a lot of these guys have ethics, or most of them, and they're not going to do that to their customers. Is it legal? Could they? Yeah, they probably could. But the only problem I see right now is we have a glutted guitar industry with guitars and basses. And this is because of the COVID thing that happened, where we had a lot of people buy mid-entry to high-end guitars and basses, and they were going to be locked in their house at home for a year and learn how to play. Well, that didn't happen, so now they have re-entered the market. Until this reaches an equilibrium, which I believe is going to result in lower guitar prices at the other end, because supply has increased and demand has decreased. We live in a business that is based off of disposable income. Unless you are a professional musician, you don't need these items. You want these items. So keep that in mind. And I encourage everybody to go out and do research, because 2 commercials came on back to back, ironically, on our local TV station. One has since been removed. The first one was the National Ford commercial that said 89% of Ford's cars and trucks were produced in the United States by Americans, and they weren't going to be affected by the tariffs. The next commercial was from the local Ford dealer saying, come on down and get your car or truck before the tariffs hit. I'm just saying, they're trying to get you to panic buy stuff. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, be an educated consumer. That's what I'm trying to encourage you to do. And watch out for these pitfalls that are out there where people are going to try and get you to bite on everything. Now, the last part of the Earthquaker article that I read said that there was a original cost, and I didn't get this, per pedal of 0.02 cents, and that cost has increased 674%. That's to a whopping $12.08. If you're paying $200 for an Earthquaker pedal, I'm sure the 1208 isn't going to dissuade you from buying it. So this is Tom at Talon Guitar Works. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And remember, only half my ideas are any good. You have to decide which half.